What is going on, everybody? Enzo here, and we are finally back on the channel. So I have a few things planned in mind. Right now, I am going to focus on finishing Final Fantasy X Retold before moving on to some other projects, but I may share a couple videos here and there, just so you guys have an idea of what I'll be doing in the future. Secondly, I will be continuing Final Fantasy VII's Rebirth streams on the YouTube channel, so keep an eye out for when those get released, and I hope to see you there. Other than that, let's begin with today's video. The story continues with the party, now consisting of Tidus, Wakka, Lulu, and Yuna embarking on their journey, with Tidus being given the Brotherhood Sword, an upgrade from the sword given to him by his old man from Wakka. Soon after they leave, a nimble cat-like creature attacks Tidus and seemingly tests his skills in battle. After a stalemate, Wakka stops them, and the creature leaves, looking disappointed. Lulu introduces him as Kimahri, one of Yuna's guardians, and is wary of strangers, but brushes his hostilities off as she believes that he will warm up to our protagonist in due time.
Kimahri Ronso, of the Ronso tribe. He's learned the fiend's way of fighting.
That's not what I meant.
He's another of Yuna's guardians.
Huh?
Sometimes we don't understand him either. Kimahri doesn't talk much anyway. But he has protected me since I was a child.
The party then stops by the monument on the cliffside overlooking the village, where they pray for a safe journey, with our main character having the option to partake in the prayer or to merely observe, not really providing much effect on the story. When they board the ship, Wakka informs Tidus of their itinerary, first going towards Kilika to obtain Yuna's next Aeon, as well as praying for the Aurochs's victory. When Tidus overhears Yuna's popularity, Tidus questions it, to which Wakka explains.
So, is Yuna's father famous or something?
She's the daughter of High Summoner Braska. You saw his statue at the temple. Lord Braska defeated Sin 10 years ago. Yuna's the heir to a great legacy.
It's tough when your father's famous.
Huh?
To which Tidus can relate to, considering his father was a famous blitzball star in his hometown. A fun little interaction can occur here in which we meet Wakka the 23rd, merchant extraordinaire, who has ambitions of starting his own merchant line. We will see more of him down the line, as well as being able to discover that the ship is run by Chocobo energy, which is quite a source to use. Tidus then strikes a conversation with Yuna after the crowd clears, and the first thing she points out is how he's a blitzball player from Zanarkand. However, her reaction is quite different from the others who know of this detail. In fact, she believes this about him, as she is quite familiar with the nightlife of Zanarkand. When Tidus questions how she knows this, she points out that Jet has told her about it, much to Tidus' surprise.
Sounds like him, but it can't be him.
Why not?
My old man, he died. 10 years ago, off the coast of Zanarkand.
I'm sorry.
He went out to sea for training one day, and never came back. And no one's seen him since then.
Why, that's the day that Jekt came to Spira.
But,
It's true, I first met Jekt 10 years and 3 months ago. I remember that was the day my father left. The date fits, doesn't it?
We then start to get the connection of Jet making his way to Spira 10 years ago, and how he became Braska's guardian, and when he went on to defeat Sin, mirroring the journey our hero is currently going through, as much as Tidus doesn't want to admit that the connection is there. Suddenly, the boat starts to shake as Sin has arrived, making its way to Kilika. Despite efforts from the shipmen and a battle ensuing between the party and the Sin scales along with Sin's fin, as well as the Sin spawn underwater, the giant creature lays waste to Kilika, showing a gruesome sight as families, adults and children alike, are not safe from the wrath of Sin, and leaves destruction in its wake. Despite this, Tidus had hoped that this action would result in him returning home, like how he was sent to Spira when Sin attacked Xanarkand. Too bad that's not how chaos and destruction works, big guy. This strengthens Yuna's resolve to defeat Sin, and she prepares to perform the ritual of the Sending, allowing the souls to proceed to the far plane in peace.
What's ascending? Are we going somewhere?
You truly are clueless. Are you sure it's just your memory that's the problem? The dead need guidance. Filled with grief over their own death, they refuse to face their fate. They yearn to live on and resent those still alive. You see, they envy the living. And in time, that envy turns to anger, even hate. Should these souls remain in Spira, they become fiends that prey on the living. Sad, isn't it? The Sending takes them to the far plane, where they may rest in peace.
This is something that Tidus never wants to see again. On the next day, the party continues their journey, making their way through Kilika Forest, currently being ravaged by an Oshu on their way to the temple, while the Aurochs and other people stay and help with the rebuilding of the village. When they reach the stone steps going into the temple, Wakka requests that they have a race on the steps, as High Summoner Ohalland once trained there. But before they could complete their training, they are stopped by a rather dangerous obstacle. A Sin spawn has managed to cut loose from Sin and remained in Kilika after Sin's destruction of the village and the party take it on, defeating it and moving on to the temple, and Tidus learning what Sin spawn are.
So, what are these sin spawn anyway?
Fiends, they fall from Sin's body and are left behind in its wake.
Leave him alone and Sin comes back for him. You gotta be quick.
That moment when Wakka told me I had talent in battle, I think that was when I started seriously considering becoming a guardian.
As they continue climbing the steps, Wakka suddenly begins to believe Tidus about the existence of Xanarkand, but it's only a mere illusion, as it is part of his hoping that Chapu is still alive, that Sin transported him instead of killing him, which is immediately shut down by Lulu. This interaction gives Tidus the impression that there is long history between Wakka, Lulu, and Wakka's brother Chapu. When they make it to the temple, they come across a group of what looks to be Blitzball players.
You here to pray for victory too?
Us pray? Who needs to pray? The Luca goers always win.
Oh yeah? Then why you here?
We've been praying for some competition this year.
So what's your goal this time? You gonna do your best again? Ha! It's too bad your best isn't good enough. Why even bother showing up?
This time, we play to win.
Ooh, play away. Just remember, even kids can play, boys.
See you in the finals.
Tidus then points out that they are just as bad as Jet, which Yuna clearly disagrees to, which shows us that Jet was perceived differently between our two main characters. When they enter the temple to pray for victory, a summoner and her guardian emerge from the cloister, and it is clear that she is not a friendly figure to start.
My name is Yuna. from the Isle of Besaid.
Donna? So, you're High Summoner Braska's daughter. That's quite a name to live up to. My. And all these people are your guardians? My, what a rabble. As I recall, Lord Braska had only 2 guardians. Quality over quantity, my dear. Whatever were you thinking? I have need of only 1 guardian. Right, Bartello?
I only have as many guardians as there are people I can trust. I trust them all with my life. To have so many guardians is a joy and an honor. Even more so than being my father's daughter.
It's clear that Donna is not a fan of Yuna's fame and seeks every chance to call her out for it. Later on, as the parties prepare to go into the cloister, Tidus is denied passage as he is not yet an official guardian. Then guess who, other than Donna coming in and forcing him through for some unknown reason? Well, technically it's because of some game, but whatever. After crossing the Cloister of Trials and Yuna obtaining Ifrit, the party set out for Luca. During the journey, 2 major things happen. The first is the conversation between Wakka and Lulu about how Tidus and his story and how much he reminds Wakka of Shapu, something Lulu clearly doesn't like, as well as Tidus learning the jet shot in spite of his father's tormenting of him, a move that Yuna recognizes.
How do you know that?
Sir Jack showed it to me when I was a child.
He called it the Sublimely Magnificent Jet Shot Mark III.
Huh. Stupid name, huh?
You know what? There is no Mark I or Mark II, you know?
My old man said the name Mark III was just something to hook the crowd. He said they'd come back every night expecting to see Mark I and Mark II. And they really did come back. I used to get so mad.
It is clear through this conversation that our 2 heroes are heavily affected by the fame of their parents, but have different reactions to them, with Tidus wanting to punch his old man the moment he sees him, while Yuna misses her own father. Sometime later, the party arrive in the bright and vibrant city of Luca, where they prepare for the upcoming Blitzball tournament. If you guys haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe to this channel if you guys want to see more content. I'm really happy to see the growth of this channel so far, and I am back to continue making more videos for it. And keep an eye out for any future projects that are coming up on the line. Other than that, this is Enzo signing out, and I will see you all in the next episode of this series.